Today, No Man's Sky have for you a full list of what's coming to the Quicksilver store, when it's coming, how much it'll cost, and what stat boosts we'll get from some of these items. Oh yes, some of them aren't purely cosmetic. As you may know, we've known what is coming for a while with some extra details here and there. This timeline has also somewhat been in the files since before the Living Ship update, but as we're approaching our first significant item releases, this seems the right time to talk about it. So let's get right to the point. So as far as this timeline goes, essentially we have sort of sections. So each section is a set of tiers to be released. Each set of tiers has 1 to 3 items in it. And these are all in the correct order that they should be when they're released. So the first set, which is expected to release tomorrow, because that's when this week's set, which is the radiation plants, they're at like 92% at the time of me recording this. So expected tomorrow we'll get the Polo figurine and Nada figurine. These are the first bobbleheads that you'll be able to put in your ships. We'll go over how you put them in your ships and what they do, as well as just being awesome little bobbleheads, a little later in the video, but we're just going through everything first. So the Polo figurine will be the first tier out of 2 in this set. It is an awesome little figurine that you'll be able to see in your ship, and of course will give you a stat boost. Again, we'll go into it shortly. A synthetic polymer companion for your starship's cockpit, fashioned in the likeness of Specialist Polo. The Nada one is similar, just in the likeness of Priest Entity Nada. These will both cost 3,200 Quicksilver to purchase. Now when it comes to these, chances are you'll only want to get 1 to 2 of them, depending both who it is, so who you'll see on your cockpit, as well as what stat boost it provides. Now, I haven't actually seen confirmation of this, but I know modders have sort of enabled these kinds of things early, but I can only assume you can see it in your actual cockpit when you're flying. I really hope so, otherwise it's nowhere near as cool, even though of course stat boost, yay, but still. And of course, as soon as it's made available, I will show this. Then, probably the week after, the way I've guessed this timeline, it's all expected releases. This is based on the fact that we seem to do a week, one per week, one set of tiers per week. Now, of course, it has gone a bit slower recently with the sort of calm down from the Living Ship update, but I expect with these bobbleheads and when you find out what else is coming and when, you might want to get into it more to boost this along, because I sure do. So the next set, which I expect to release the week after, so starting the 23rd of March or so, are 3 more of the banners, which are the Curious Fauna banner, which has got our little friend Chew, the banner of the Blob, which has got the Blob, and the Fine and Tasty banner, which is the one with the chef, the Geck chef going, doing the meme, like sort of Italian tasty thing, okay thing. Anyway, that. These all cost 220 Quicksilver each, so a nice calm down from the 3,200 of the one before it. They are classed as bespoke personal identification, and essentially they are banners for your sort of avatar in multiplayer. So when you customize, you can customize your banner of how people see you in the Nexus lists and stuff when you're joining missions. So this will be like a special banner for that. Personally, I really like the chef one. There's already a Galactic Hub one, as well as 2 others. But yeah, I'm really after that chef one, because I just think it's cool, and I love cooking. Also, they will release in that order of Chew, Blob, and then the chef. Then the next set of tiers expected to release roughly around the week starting the 30th of March are the 3 toxic plants for like decorating your base, so similar to the rad plants that we're just doing now. These are classed as organic decorations. The first one is Blistering Mushroom. This swollen protuberance grows rapidly from a fine network of underground spores, greatly improves nearby soil quality. These are all 3 go for 500 Quicksilver. The next one is Watchful Protrusion. Whilst this plant can be cultivated as a crop, consumption is not advised. Then the last one, Tentacle Spire. This delightful architectural floral combines 2 highly popular aesthetics, wriggling tentacles and giant fungi. Highly popular is debatable, but still pretty cool. Then next one is one we've been waiting for a little while now, because it's probably one of the more hype ones, which is the Exosuit Backpack. the extra special customization. It looks really cool. People are calling it sort of retro look, which it kind of is. It looks really good. That's expected to release on the 6th of April. It is number 30. These are all numbered, so like the first Polo figurine, Nardo figurine is number 27, 28 is the banners, 29 is the mushroom stuff, and 30 is the Exosuit backpack. So we've got like, this is the 4th away from what we're on now. This will sell for 3,500 Quicksilver, and basically just looks badass. I do really want this. It's going to be quite pricey, so basically it's good to know all this stuff so that you can plan ahead of how much Quicksilver you're going to want if you want to get this stuff. This one will only have a single item on the one tier. I expect this will go fast, so we'll hopefully make up for time with the other previous tiers and maybe taking a little longer than a week. Whereas this one, everyone will want it and it's only one thing. Hopefully it will go past really quickly. Then the next set of tiers, number 31, is expected for release around the 13th of April. Again, I'm basically just doing this expected releases at a week per one. So it really isn't like a timeline in-game. It's just, these sets. So this set is a set of cold decorations, so like the plants and the toxic ones before. The first one is Hardy Shrub. This tougher conifer pumps its sap with anti-freezing enzymes, allowing it to survive unmanageably low temperatures. I couldn't say that bloody word. These all go for 500, as with the other plants. The next one is Frozen Planter, a snow-filled stone trough. This is the perfect home for the small, tough plants that grow on icebound worlds. This actually looks really cool, and I mean, I doubt it, but I'd love if this was actually something you could plant other things into, but really you could just put some of the other plants into it, like these smaller ones. It looks really cool, like a stone trough, hells yeah. The last one in this set of tiers, the third tier, is Ancient Conifer. This tree lives on an almost geological timescale. Low heat and light levels in their native habitat restrict growth to mere millimeters each season. A sample this size is a botanical marvel. This is actually pretty legit as far as real world science goes, because like trees in the really cold areas of the world, like super North Canada and so forth, they grow super slow. If you like cut them down, like a really thin one could still be exceptionally old because the rings are so small. So it's actually quite a cool little tidbit in that. I really like that. The next one after that is a single one and is another bobblehead. Kind of. It's not really a bobblehead because there's no head. Essentially, it's an Atlas figurine. So, a synthetic polymer adornment for your Starship's cockpit fashioned in the likeness of an Atlas interface. It does look exceptionally cool. It, as with the other figurines, goes for 3,200. They're all that price. And it looks pretty damn cool. Again, it does have a stat boost, but we'll go into that very shortly. This is the only item on this tier set, so it'll just be one tier again like the backpack, so it'll probably be a quick one that goes through and levels out all the estimates for time. That is expected roughly around the 20th of April. I'd say at this point it could be even a week earlier. This far out is number 32, so yeah. So yeah, we're getting quite far out now. It depends on people's excitement. The fact that maybe everyone's indoors more because of a certain thing that's happening in the world right now. The next one after that is a really exciting one. This is the first of the ship trails, and it's a full 3-tier set. This is expected around the 27th of April, so again, could be even a week earlier at this point. I'll try updating all these dates as we go along to sort of more match the speed things are going. These are surprisingly cheap for what they are. They are similar, in fact, exact, to the jetpack trails, so 800 Quicksilver each. For the first 3, that is. As with the jetpacks, there are 5 in total, and the sort of second set, which is just 2, is a lot more expensive. So this first set is Cadmium Starship Trail, which is a red Starship Trail, Emerald Starship Trail, which is green, and Golden Starship Trail, which is like a golden yellow, like an S-Class yellow, and it looks really cool. And I know someone who will specifically want that one. So these will be going in that order, as with everything else I'm reading here. So Cadmium, Emerald, then Gold. And yeah, that's expected in roughly a month and a bit from now. Roughly. The next one after that is the last 3 of the Bobbleheads. This is set 34 and is expected around the 4th of May. These, as with all the other Bobbleheads, go for 3,200 Quicksilver each. This is the Artemis figurine, the Apollo figurine, and the Null figurine. The Apollo one is arguably the one that everyone's going to want the most, and I'll go into that shortly. But yeah, these are all just Bobbleheads for your cockpit again, and they all look really cool. Then the last but one, yes, there's only 2 more sets of tiers left, is expected around the 11th of May. This is the last of the sort of base decorations for like the trees and stuff. This is the Dusty Planet one, so the desert ones. So they're all cactus type ones. So the first one is Bewitching Cactus. The second one is Celebratory Cactus. And the third one is Succulent Tree. These look really cool. They're definitely different to anything else we currently have for base decorations. And will really give us a massive amount more base decorations to put. This will sort of give us pretty much every biome to be able to build in our bases, which is really cool. Like builders everywhere are really happy with these kind of ones. As with the others, again, they're 500 Quicksilver. And yeah, they're really cool. So the last one is what you might expect, because that's the only thing left. The last 2 Starship Trails. Now these, Stealth Starship Trail and the Chromatic Starship Trail, these are very similar to the jetpack one. So the Stealth one is like the antimatter jetpack. It's like a dark purple, sort of just really dark one. It looks really cool. I'll probably go for that more, to be honest. The Chromatic Starship Trail is like a rainbow one, like the Nyan Cat jetpack, which I'm rocking on survival. Really like it, but I'm not sure. I might put it on one of my saves, maybe my survival again, just have that full on rainbow parts. These both will be 2,100 Quicksilver, so quite a bit more than the other 3, but of course they are a bit more special. And these are expected around the 18th of May. So really at this point, anywhere from the start of May to the end of May, it really, when you're this far out, this is more than 2 months away. So yeah, that's the full list of what's coming in what order with the tier sets and stuff, so you can sort of, with all the costs, so you can plan out what you want to get next. A full list of all of these in nice designed fashion. I've made a big webpage on the website for this video with all the stuff listed. So if you want to check it over in a more referenceable way, then that is linked in the pinned comment. But before the video's over, let's go over these stats. So the Bobbleheads, as well as the ship trails, all give stats as well as being just awesome. So they don't just have a cosmetic effect, which is really cool. I'm really glad they've done this. And you might be thinking as well how they are installed. So you don't do this through a customizer. There isn't a customizer interface to do this through. I did originally before finding out how they actually work. I did assume that this would maybe mean that we're going to get a ship customization update soon, but it's nothing to do with that. So hold your horses there. Essentially, these will all be put into your ship via technology. So these are all technology that you'll basically buy the blueprints from the Quicksilver synthesis bot to do these. So you'll be able to build them in any of your ships. It's also important to note that in the game files, their sort of categories labelled as all ships, whereas other tech for ships is labelled as either ship, alien ship, freighter, etc. Now, obviously, you won't be able to put this in your freighter, but all ships implies that it will go fine in your alien ship as well as your normal ship. So there's no need to worry about that. Which also means we can get Bobbleheads and crazy trails on our alien ships, which is pretty damn sweet, to be honest. So to go through it, the first ones we'll get are Polo and Nada. Now, Polo's figurine boosts maneuverability by 1.05. Now, I can only expect this means that will give a 5% boost to maneuverability, because 1.05 sounds like a modifier that it will times the amount at whichever point in the formula it takes it from by 1.05, which will increase it by 5%. Nada's one is an interesting one. Nada's one is the ship launcher takeoff cost. Now, this could be very cool for certain people, especially people like Lava Lamp 64, who is the sort of Lord of War, we call him around here, because he's found possibly going on triple digits multi-tools at this point. He searches for them day in, day out, checks hundreds of minor settlements for the boxes until he finds the S-Class. Now, he rolls purely in shuttles, so because it's really convenient, you can land really easily, takeoff cost is low, stuff like that. So he's probably going to really like this. Now, unfortunately, these two are the first ones we get, and we don't get the next one for a little while. The next one after that is the Atlas Figurine. Now, this one gives probably the most important. I actually thought it was Apollo in my head, although Apollo's one is very good as well. But the Atlas one, which is a single tier one, this gives a 50 light year range to hyperdrive. Now that's a big deal, because this is a new thing, which I'm pretty sure it will also have a bonus as far as adjacency goes. So this is like a new piece. This is basically like just having, well, yeah, it's an extra piece that we can give adjacency to other things for. So if we just take this as 50, then if you even just put this in a cube with the 3 in the other inventory, so by this I mean you can have 3 of the hyperdrive S-Class upgrades in each inventory. So you'd want to stack like in a lot of 6 with the main hyperdrive tech in your normal and stuff, with like cadmium drive and stuff and all that stuff in the one, and then you'd have the other 3 in the other. So you might want to stick this with 3 S-Class upgrades in the other in a cube. This would give you probably a 6% upgrade adjacency bonus twice to this 50, which would basically give you 6 extra light years. You would then also impart adjacency bonus to those 2 other ones you're touching. So best case scenario, those are 250, which means you'll get hopefully about 30 extra light years. So 36 extra light years total by putting this in a cube with those other 3 modules, which isn't a massive amount, but for people who like to min-max and really get that extra bit, it's a decent bit. And again, add that to the 50s, that's 86 total. When you're going through the galactic map, 86 light years is another planet, because you can't always get the full amount. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Sorry, another system, not planet. Then the last ones, which are Artemis, Apollo and Null. Artemis gives ship boost, which I can only imagine is the speed when you're just like holding down, on PC you're holding down shift when you're in the ship, so it's not pulse, it's just moving quicker boost. So that looks like a 5% again, because it's 1.05 the modifier is. Apollo, which a lot of people are going to like, is ship weapons gun damage, and this is just seen as 8. Gun damage is a tricky one. I really don't know how it works all that out. It's not as simple as just percentages and stuff and what it shows in game relating to how it shows in the files. Now this just shows as 8, so that could be 8%. It could be 8 damage per projectile. It could be a lot of things. So basically all we know so far is it's 8, and it's just an extra bit of weapon damage. Now, how this will apply with adjacency bonus will be interesting. I wonder if it will have any at all. If it does, can you then just basically put it next to your favourite weapon type, give that a bit of a bonus, while also gaining an adjacent bonus from any weapon type to itself? So this could be interesting. If it does work with anything, you could basically have 2 sets of weapons in cross formations for the maximum damage, and then have this sort of on the diagonal in between them to give like a maximum crazy increase, which could be really cool. So I'll definitely be looking forward to looking into that. The last one, which is Null, is ship armor shield strength, and this gives a 5%. But it's not the same as the other one. It's it's not 1.05, it's 0.05, but it still implies a 5% bonus as far as I'm concerned. But if it does work how it does with the other things in the files with shield strength, that is actually probably 7.5%. Just because in the files we have a lot of the ranges and stuff, and the ship shields come out as 0.2, which is actually 30% in game, so it's like times 1.5. So really, I'm thinking it's probably going to be 7.5%, which will probably show up as 8% in game on the module itself. Then when it comes to all the ship trails, these are super simple. These are all ship boost, and they're all 1.01. So this just looks like it gives a 1% increase the ship boost. So really the most beneficial part of this is that you'll probably be able to adjacency bonus it with the other pulse engine items, which is pretty cool. I could see issues with the adjacency with the different tech, because if it's in an alien, then it's going to be trying to go with the alien tech. I don't know if that's all in the same system, but it probably is, to be honest. But yeah, so there's some cool stuff. I hope this has been an informative video, and yeah, plan your builds, folks. Remember, the full list of everything is linked in the pinned comment on the website. Yeah, just for easy referencing and tracking what you will need as far as Quicksilver goes to save up for these items as they are released. Yeah, exciting stuff. I'm really looking forward to a lot of these. I know a lot of people say the customization stuff is a bit half-arsed and just kind of cheap stuff to put in, but I don't see it that way. I really like this stuff. I like these extra little things that we can do. It's not like they spent a crazy amount of time doing it. This is just extra stuff as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, super happy about it. If you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe so you can stay in the loop on all things No Man's Sky, guides, Let's Play, streams, and patch note videos. Every time they release anything, I'm there with the news. So yeah, subscribe to keep in the loop. If you want to help support the channel, we have Patreon, Teespring store for merch, got YouTube memberships with that join button below. We've also got an amazing website which was developed by Mr. Golden Geck. And me and him basically just work on it all the time, filling it with new information. He's done a really good job with the site. So you should definitely check it out. Full of loads of helpful information. And all that is linked in the pinned comment with the Discord invite link, where there's loads of people you can have a chat with about No Man's Sky and other games. So yeah, thanks for watching, folks, and have an amazing day. See you next time.